Welcome to this talk with Jean-Gabriel Périot. We have to thank for the film Returning to Reims we can see here at the FILMFEST Hamburg. And welcome, Mr. Périot, here with me in this recording online meeting. It's great to see you. Thank you very much for being here.
Hello.
My name is Dietmar Moltag and I'm working for the Friedrich-Ebert-Stiftung here in our Hamburg office. We are an independent institution for political education in the spirit of social democracy. And the Friedrich-Ebert-Stiftung is proud to co-host this year's veto section at the FILMFEST Hamburg and giving out the award, The Political Film, to one of the films we are able to see at the FILMFEST in this section. So let's start talking about your great film. And my first question goes back to the beginning of this project. How did the idea occur to you to make a film out of the political essay Returning to Reims by Didier Eribon?
Well, it's quite simple. I don't know if it's simple because there is never like one answer to this kind of question of how do you start a film and why there are many of them. But I think I read the book almost when it was published like years ago, but it was a really good book and it just stayed in my mind. But the time passed and I did films. And 2 or 3 years ago, I had some question about my own position as filmmaker regarding the question of social class and class struggle, because I did 2 films with 2 groups of people, like one film with amateur singer from the suburb in France, in a really poor suburb, and I did another film with high school students coming from a poor area, also in France. So during the Q&A and everything during those films, there were a lot of questions about who my place as filmmaker regarding them as poor people or working class person, but myself, I'm really coming from the working class. And so I came back to the book, and one of the topics of the book is our Didier Eribon, the sociologue, come back to his family and question his own position as one people that change from the working class to the more higher class. So I go back to the book, and when I read it, I was really not surprised because I already knew the book, but in fact, I realized it was also a really interesting book, an important book about the history of the social class, the working class in France, in terms of sociology and politics. And in a way, I decided that I need to go back to this history and to share it with the audience because I know it's my own story in a way. But yes, there was something I wanted to bring back into the discussion, at least in France.
And you're really bringing us back taking us back in time by showing us all these fragments from different films, also from TV news or whatever. So this is your in my opinion, brilliant aesthetic idea to cross Eribon's thoughts and the main topics of his book with these original film footage. So was this the idea from the very beginning on to combine this book, this theoretical book, with French movies and TV shows?
Yeah, it was in a way obvious for me because it's one of my. I'm making a lot of film, but I'm making a lot of film with pre-existing film, archival footage, and everything. So often it's my way to think how to start a film. And as soon as it's about history, for me, to come back to those material, it's quite obvious. At least for me, it is. And it was a way simply first to bring back like testimony of people talking, because history or this kind of, as soon as you are talking about history, we are talking about the past, but to bring back archive where people are talking, they are talking in their own present time. And I really like it to mix those moments. And it was an occasion to bring back all those Yeah, footages or film with working class people talking about their own difficulties, their hopes and everything, and to mix it with the story of the family of Didier. And in a second hand, it was also a way to question or the working class people were represented in television and films, and to have some kind of history of media about this question too.
Yeah. To be honest, I sometimes I couldn't believe that it's original footage. I was always waiting for in the credits, you know, we shoot this and that scene, but it's all from real movies or from real footage you're putting together, and I think it works out brilliant. What political feelings are you looking at this educational system back there, and what it might have changed until today?
Yeah, I think it was important for me when I pick up the fragment of the book and all those moments about education and the educational system, and it was in the 60s, but it's almost the same today. It's not totally the same system, but it's the idea of in a way that it's almost impossible for the children of the working class to be learned, to be to have some work that are I don't know in English how to say, but better or higher than what they could pretend to be. And I think it's the same. It's my own family. We are almost 20. I have 20 cousins or something like that. We are only two that were hired after in university, and it was quite a chance, and it was really 2 on 20, so it's like 10% only of my own family that succeed to go after the high school, and all my cousins are just have this kind of regular work as their parents had. So it's still the same, and it's quite. I'm not sure how we could change it, and but there is the constraint of the way it was built in the 60s is still the same today, even if young people are going more longer in school, but at the end the result is the same.
And in many scenes you're focusing on the injustice, especially towards women in the film. So yeah, was this the talk about equal rights and especially women's rights in that time? Yeah, this is a special focus on your film?
Yeah, because that was for sure in the book. The life of the female within the working class is one of the topics, because we can find the grandmothers of Didier, his own mother. But I decided to more focus on those fragments more than the man one, probably because it's first. I came from a really feminine family. I have a lot of aunts and cousins, and we are really few men, so probably I grew up in this kind of surrounding with all the problem of the woman, the specific problem of the woman within this class. And also it's some kind of statement, feministic statement about to bring back also an history of the female right and problems that are not so much shared or teach or it was a way to, by choosing the character of the mother of Didier as a red line, it was a way to bring back this specific history that is not so much told.
And is this the reason you decided to give the voice of the narrator to a female voice, to Adèle Haenel?
Yeah, there was something like that. That first because the book itself, the text is really large, and we can. A lot of us can enter into it and create parallel with our own life. And so to open it more, I use the footages and the archive, but to have a voice that was different than the other one was also a way to just open it. And for sure, to have a female voice was something like a small statement.
Yeah. You got me confused a little bit in the beginning, but of course you get used to the female voice during the film. While we talk about gender, I certainly need to ask why you decided to keep out of the movie the whole part of the book when Eribon is reflecting on his own homosexuality. It plays a big role in the book, his finding out that he's gay and struggling with this fact, especially with his father. You cut this out of your movie. Why did you do that?
Yeah, there are many reasons. The first one, it was some kind of logical, because as soon as I decide to focus on the mother of Didier and with his grandparent, and to skip the character of Didier himself, the result was to cut everything that was related to the life of Didier, so his own homosexuality, but also all the questions regarding culture. Culture as a mean to escape his own life, or culture as something that also imprison you in some kind of I don't know, space, or like give you a position. Also another kind of way to question education, because he succeeded to change his life because of education. So there is something also good in education that I skip. So there are many questions I skip because Eribon was skipped of the book.
And at one point, you know, when in the beginning of the second part, the narrator is telling that the former division by class we can see in the first half of the film is now has changed into a division by race, so that the working class itself is divided between immigrant workers and originally French workers.
I think in the book and in the film, it's more in a way soft. So there was not some kind of break in between like a political division, like communist and a right party person, and after, like, the white and the people from Arabs or black people. It's something that was more like this division in racism was already there before, but he says that as a worker, it was not so efficient. This division, there was some already racism, but as soon as you were working together and more importantly fighting together, this division was not like efficient. But it started to become more and more efficient and visible as soon as the class itself dissolved and the Communist Party disappeared and all the ideology like start to vanish. This kind of not rule, but the politics were replaced by racism and bad feelings, and it starts for sure to become more and more important. But it's just something that just passed slowly from one way to separate the society to another one.
Thank you for this great span of French society you're showing us.
Yeah, bye-bye.